river.
Okay, but maybe it's a good alien. Right? Like maybe it's here to help us. Oh, it's a bad alien.
Why? Does my baby daddy have to start a bar fight and an alien invasion all in one night?
Congratulations on Alien Country. It's very funny. It's surprisingly deep as well. Boston, I'll start with you as the director. I mean, how did you get the script, and where did the idea come from?
Yeah, there's an early edition of Alien Country that I wrote kind of out of film school. This is in 2014, and it wasn't as deep at the time. It was just kind of a fun, plucky. I wanted to make like a modern day Western, but the script didn't really have a lot to it. At that time, I started dating my now wife, Rennie, and I was like, we should really find some heart and soul to this. And two things happened. One, we got to meet Stan Lee at the Comic-Con here in Salt Lakes, FanX, and did an interview with him. And I asked him advice about writing. And I was like, what kind of stories, like how do you tell good stories? How do you do this thing? And he just said, I always wrote for myself. I always tried to tell a story that I'd be interested in reading. And so I did a little bit of soul searching and realized that, there were two things I really wanted to tell a story about. And one was about a couple that stays in love, not a couple that falls in love, which is what you generally see in a romantic comedy or something like that. But I want to show a couple that's already been together for a while and how do they keep their relationship strong. And then, of course, aliens. So,
Of course.
The first draft was missing aliens.
Yeah, there was no aliens in the original draft of this film. And then I realized, no, I love creature movies. And so if I was to take Stan's advice, I would tell a story that has a monster in it. And so we added aliens, which also really came from the fact that here in Utah, there is a really strong culture in extraterrestrials, UFOs. People have had sightings, all kinds of government, conspiracies and things sort of exist here. But I really wanted to tell a story that was authentically Utah, a Utah story. And so our creature here is certainly UFOs, aliens, and that type of thing.
Yeah, your special effects in this are damn good. I thought, hey, I'm going to watch this movie and it's going to be a local thing. But it looks like a big production. Like, this came out of Universal Studios. So congratulations on that.
Oh, thank you so much.
Rennie, tell me about your character and putting on her skin, so to speak.
Yeah, well, it's kind of funny. As an actress, I usually get cast as like an addict or an alcoholic or sometimes the best friend that's slightly sassy. And Boston and I, when we were writing this together, we were like, what would you want to play as your character? Like what type of, characteristics would you want in her? And we really wrote in some like real fears and aspirations. I've always had this sort of fear of having to balance motherhood and a career. So that is the underlying, character arc of Everly. She wants to become a singer and she finds out she's pregnant and she's like, oh no, what do I do? And she also has to decide if her boyfriend, Jimmy, is someone who she wants to spend the rest of her life with. And if he has the chops to, basically rise up and become a father and a good husband. So they go on that journey together. But that was something that was really important to me as the writer and the actress was kind of leaning into someone who's a little bit sassy, had some very, had a little bit of action, action scenes, but also some very deep concerns about her future.
And so a fun story, Boston and Rennie and I, we all met in 2018. I had just barely got back from LA. I was at TMG, that's our agency's party, and I happened to see Boston and Rennie, and they saw me, and it was almost like this weird, like, love at first sight, but in the movie world type of love at first sight, And I looked at them, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I know you guys. I've seen you guys in YouTube, and I think they had the same reaction with me. And so when we got together, I had just said, hey, I really want to, like, make a movie with you guys. I think it'd be super fun. And so Boston sent me one of the earlier drafts of Alien Country, and I read it, and I remember thinking, this is so awesome and way cooler than anything I've ever written. So let's do this. And so I just knew that we had to like taper it down a little bit so that the budget wouldn't be as high. And then we wrote it, and then we got a great role for me in there, and I was like super excited to be in it. So yeah, there it is.
Boston, you mentioned, making it like a Utah film, using Utah as a background, but the actors that you're using are all really spot on. I mean, this was really well cast.
Yeah, well, I'll say a couple things because Sharon and I, Rennie and I, all met at this event, and really, when it comes down to like how this film really came together, I think Rennie and I found the story, found everything that was set here in Utah, but Sharon knew a lot of people. So you've mentioned visual effects, you've mentioned our music. And our actors that we found, everyone, a lot of the great people were people that Rennie, Sharon knew. I'm a little bit more, I think, like on an island in myself. I sit in a room and I'm on my computer all day writing or doing movie editing or effects or whatever. But they had this network here in Utah, and really we found just some of the most incredibly talented people. A few of our cast came from out of state, but the vast majority, and then like Michael Lee Bishop, who did our full score, he was one of Sharon's good friends, and we'll work with him for the rest of our life.
Sharon, when audiences begin to discover Alien Country, what do you think they'll take away with them from watching it?
I think they'll take away how much joy they're having, because that was one of the things that I wanted to do. When I read the script, there were very few times in my life where I put down a script because I was laughing so hard. Alien Country was one of those scripts, and it translates to the screen. Like, I think, like from the first moment when we see this action chase happen towards the very end of the film, there's so many laugh out loud moments and so many like a few jump scare moments as well. But I know that people seem to really connect with the characters a lot, and so it's kind of fun to see the audiences go on this ride and have these type of joyous, fun experiences themselves. And to me, that's what like a movie should be, this opportunity for people to go into a theater and sit down and just watch and like laugh out loud together. I think that would be the ultimate takeaway for Alien Country.
I think what we get consistently is how surprised people are at how much they love the film. People come in kind of like you did, Tony, like, oh, I'm going to watch a local film. I don't know, I think the bar is set a little bit low sometimes when they hear it's, we're just local filmmakers or whatever. But, inevitably after people watch the movie, they have so many questions. They're laughing so hard. They're reciting lines back to us. It's just a joy every time we share the film.
Boston?
Yeah, I think the underlying thing that we really want to deliver is to give people a chance to have so much fun. But on top of that, like, there is this really cool piece where I think what we've discovered is how consistently people have seen something they can't explain in their life. When we show a movie that has aliens in it, people come out of the woodworks and say, I've seen something. I saw a UFO. I had this experience. And I think so often that's shrouded in this like fear and conspiracy and darkness and big, thematic, 1990s X-Files music. And we were like, let's just turn that up, like completely to 11, make it fun, make it family friendly, and finally give parents a safe place to talk to their kids about UFOs.
There you go. That's with everything that's going on in the world. That's the one thing.
That's the one thing.
Captain's log. For once, everything's going better than expected. This is terrible! I wasn't sure how my junior officers would handle their new promotions.
I don't want to get promoted. I want to stay charmingly insubordinate.
But they've shown remarkable composure.
Tawny, I am such a fan of your voice work, and Jack. You guys all do so well, and I don't think people realize and understand that voice work is very hard, especially, Tawny, when you're doing comedy as well. You've got to hit those lines exactly right.
Yeah, I don't know that it's hard. I think it's pretty, maybe it's hard. It's not hard. This character's not hard to do. Like, Mike's written a flawless character that fits right into my voice and vibe. So I kind of feel like I have it easy. Like, I feel like I hit some sort of cheat code with this show. I don't know about y'all, but
I would say that it's so hard and only a few can do it. And only a very select few could
sorry,
anything
yes,
like this.
I'm giving away the secret.
There's only a chosen 4 that can do this the way that it's been done and never be done before.
Get any old idiots in here. Yeah. Pretty well.
I would say that the nuance of voiceover, the cool thing about voiceover is that you have to be very broad because
Only your voice.
It's only your voice.
Yeah.
Yeah, what you usually communicate with your face, you don't have that.
You don't have that. And then you have to communicate it in such a way that then they can translate something interesting to a face.
Yeah.
And it's actually very fun to do that.
Yeah.
I love finding those little levels to be like, oh, I'm giving them something to animate.
Yeah, absolutely.
Jack, tell me how your character has arced over the past 5 seasons.
Oh man, well, Boimler's a little anxious boy. Always has been, always will be. But within that anxiety, he's definitely found his confidence over the years, which I really appreciate. I don't know, to me, I'm a very anxious person in real life, so to me, he kind of represents like Jack's inner anxiety. So just to see him grow and change and really, I love how much he's like started to like just really lean. When we first meet him, he loves his friends, but he's like willing to rank up at any cost. And just to see him just like absolutely dive headfirst and just like my friends are the thing that matters was really heartwarming for me. No, I just love, last season at the finale, he got to sit into the captain's chair, which was a huge moment for him, be a temporary captain. So I just love where he's going, and I can't wait for everyone to see where he goes in this final season. It's a very fun arc. He's basically trying to emulate somebody. I can't exactly say who it is, but what he gets up to with that is very fun, and I think it goes into cool directions.
Noel, are you just blown away by the amount of fans that just absolutely adore this show?
Yes, I love it. It makes me, I'm blown away. You asked me, right?
Yeah.
Sure, I'm not just stepping on people's
No, we love it. Go.
Yeah, I think it's been so heartening, and it makes me so excited to be an entertainer and be a part of this franchise. It makes me feel like Tindy's so close to a part of me. So when there are people that are relating to her and liking her, I'm like, they like me.
Yeah.
And I like that a character that's has so much optimism and is just kind of geek-tastic is something that people like.
Yeah.
And I appreciate it. It makes me feel more comfortable about bringing that out from myself as well.
And Eugene, that's wow, Sam is such a great character.
Yeah. It's just on the page. I don't do anything.
Really?
No. Yeah, of course. I love him. I love Rutherford. He's the best.
Nothing like Eugene.
No.
Just kidding.
No, he's great. He's good. He's good people.
He is good people, and he's such a well-rounded character.
Yeah, and it's great to be able to play a well-rounded character, which doesn't happen that often, and you get to have that even in a comedy for 5 seasons, and to be playing somebody who accepts the fact that you can be positive about the thing that you love. Like you want in life to love what you do what you love, and but there is a little snarkiness in real life of like, you can't be too confident about it. You can't be too, you can't pat yourself on the back for doing the work. And Rutherford shows that you can, and that it's okay as long as the smile is genuine and you're happy about it. You can bring that. So it's like, yeah, I try to bring that into my real life because Sam Rutherford is cooler than I am.
Tawny, I know you've been asked this all day, but saying goodbye to these characters, at least for a little bit, it's got to be bittersweet.
Yeah, no, it is bittersweet just because we don't know what could be next. Of course, we all hope, Mike hopes that this could live on forever. Like with animation, we could do this forever, and we all want to.
Oh yeah.
So it is a little bittersweet. It's also just such a good season, and I think Mike and the writers did a really great job of wrapping it into a nice little bow so that we could have like a pause and then maybe see what happens down the line. So that was really artfully done. So yeah, it's bittersweet because we haven't gotten to do this in person very much. This is like our 2nd time ever, and I just want more of this.
No,
really.
Same.
So maybe we just need to
hang out more.
I should just hang out more.
Yeah.
You should. You should
Yeah.
hang out.
Thank you for that.
And you're invited as well.
Yes, yeah.
I'll pick up the check.
Oh,
great.
amazing.
We'll go to the smokehouse.
Ooh.
I love a prime rib.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
that kind of smoke.
I love wet meat.
I'm getting the rap signal, but I do want to tell you that I just loved when you did that crossover to
Oh, thank you.
Strange New Worlds. It was such fun to see you guys, in front of a camera too.
Oh, that was
we
such a
loved
great
it too.
experience.
Yeah.
And I also want them to have the same opportunity.
Yeah, we
That's
want to be
very
able to
important.
answer that same
Yeah.
question.
Well, there's the
Maybe-
next show. There it is, right there.
There we go.
There we go.
This keeps getting cooler by the second.
Wait, everyone, shut up! This Kim's got 2 peps! You're all still ensigns?
I think that Alice is worried about me.
It's rough to realize your kid knows how fragile you are.
Paul, do not do that! How are you so strong?
I'm not fragile.
What a show, and what a season 2 we're in for.
Yeah, it's really exciting. I feel like we laid a lot of the groundwork for season 1, and for season 2 we just kind of got to play and enjoy it.
Well, traditionally, the first season you're explaining who the characters are and kind of going into a little backstory. Now your character Gabby is free to rock and roll.
She is, and she loves to shred. That's what I will say. She rocks, she rolls, she like a lot. And I feel like in the beginning of the season, she starts as kind of her house. She doesn't really have it together. She's in the situationship with Jimmy. She's moved into her new house, but she hasn't unpacked. I think she's drying her body off with an area rug. And I think in the middle of the season, she's figuring stuff out with her family. And then the back half of the season is her being there for everybody else, balancing her weird friendship with Jimmy, working for Paul, her 2 jobs she has, and being there for Liz, being a good godmom. She's got a lot of stuff going on.
She does, and so does this season. I don't want to give anything away, but what do you think audiences are going to discover about your character and themselves as they watch season 2?
Yeah, I think in season 2, the audience is gonna get to go with Gabby on this journey where she's figuring out how to transition into taking care of her mom. I think there's a certain point in adulthood where you really figure out, my parents are humans and they need a little bit of help. And so she's kind of transitioning and learning what to do in that situation. And I think the audience is gonna really identify and relate, because I think that happens to a lot of people.
Alice in season 1 is very stoic and has to keep everything together for her and her dad Jimmy in the wake of her mom's death. And I think that towards the end of the season, her relationship kind of repairs with Jimmy. And in the top of season 2, they're in a good place, but he is also dealing with so much chaos from all of the stuff that's happening with him, his patient, and all of the peripheral stuff. So she's worried that he's gonna kind of slip back into old bad habits and just wants to make sure that he's okay.
Have you gotten a lot of fan mail, and what do they say?
Oh, digital fan mail. Lots of digital fan mail.
There you go.
Yeah, everybody's been really lovely. I think it's really sweet when people can see themselves in the characters or see themselves in different points of the storyline and just find a connection. And I think that's why we watch films and television. It makes us feel less alone in this journey of life.
You could have easily been on a set that didn't have this caliber of people around you as scene partners and crew. I mean, your crew is incredible.
Yes, they are.
What a blessing this must be.
It is the greatest.
Do you enjoy that give and take that you have with your other actors?
Of course. I mean, of course. I'm endlessly grateful that I get to learn so much from all of these people every single day that I get to show up at work. And being also the youngest in the cast, I'm looking up to so many people who I respect in their careers and in their lives. But then also even people like Luke, that he has been working, but he is
on the fresher side to the industry like I am, but I look up to him so much and the way that he approaches his character and seeing his work ethic and his work process. Every single person I learn from.
Your toolkit must be growing from all of the actors that you're dealing with, both on Generation and on this.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Absolutely. I think that yeah, same as life. You meet people, you take nuggets of wisdom, and yeah, I've been really fortunate.
As therapist, I think we're all on a hot streak.
Whoa, you're wearing your sex boxes at work for, you little freak.
Dress for the job you want.
Wow, you better slow that down.
This is what I hate to come out of my office.
I don't think that many kids in my son's school even do it.
Get your head out of the cloud. Talk to your kid about vaping. Visit talkaboutvaping.org.
Thanks for watching Screen Chatter. If you'd like to catch up on all of our celebrity interviews and movie reviews, just log on to screenchatter.com. And you can also follow us on social media, including Instagram, X, and Facebook. Again, thanks for tuning in to Screen Chatter this week. We'll be back next week with another show. I'm film critic Tony Toscano, and I'll see you at the movies.